Yo, welcome back to another episode of Honest Opinions. That's right. Today we'll be reviewing KSI's latest album called All Over the Place. Now, if you haven't seen my latest video was actually me reacting to his single Holiday. Now you're all wondering, Gelly, why haven't you posted this way earlier? Well, the thing is, I wanted to give myself time in order to fully review and give a fair rating to this album, because I'll be honest with you. At first, when I heard this album, I wasn't really a big fan of it. I didn't think it was that great. But as slowly as time went on, I started to like some songs that I really like, and there was. So today we're gonna be ranking all of his 16 songs, obviously from his VIP Platinum. So in the last position, I have Is Swerve by J1 and KSI, obviously. The reason why I put this as the worst song on the album is just because, to be honest, the whole song wasn't really that interesting or wasn't really that great. The hook from J1 was really weak in my opinion, and most of the lyrics were really cheesy and kind of corny from both J1 and KSI. So moving on to the 15th position, we have Number 2 by 21 Savage, KSI, and Future. If I'm being honest, I think this might be a little bit of controversial ranking, because I know some people really enjoy Number 2, but for me personally, I don't really enjoy it that much. I think individually all of their verses were great, but when combining it together, it didn't really sound that great. I think Future's verse was really cool. I think 21 Savage verse was really, a really good 21 Savage verse. Mean and calm demeanor that he had. But and I feel like also KSI was overshadowed by those two. I think he had the weakest verse out of the three, and to be honest, I think they didn't really connect. Each of their verses didn't really connect well with one another. At the number 14 position, I have You. Now, You, it's I understand the type of song that KSI was going for, but if I'm being honest, I didn't really enjoy it. I think it sounded really repetitive. It wasn't really anything interesting going on. There wasn't like any bridge to kind of like create a change or a contrast in the song, because I felt that the chorus was really long and was really repetitive throughout. And overall, I think it was just really repetitive for me to really enjoy it or to really like the song. And yeah, that's why I rank it at number 14. Next up, we have is Rent Free with KSI featuring Gracie. Now, I don't think that the song wasn't really bad per se. It was just, I think Gracie's hook wasn't that bad. I think the beat was kind of the problem behind it. It sounded really weird and obnoxious. It didn't really have a clear direction it wanted to go. The beat was kind of like all over the place, as as the name of the album. But I felt like it wasn't really all over the place in a good way. It kind of felt weird and obnoxious, and even though I enjoyed Gracie's hook and especially KSI's second verse, which I think he sounded great on that, I think the beat really deteriorated the song overall, and which is why I ranked it as low as it is, even though I don't think Gracie or KSI did really that bad per se. Next up we have is Holiday. Yeah, that's right. You might have seen my rating in my previous video where I rate a 7 out of 10. Now, I think that has changed over the course of listening to it a couple of times. I think the rating has gone a bit lower. I think it has gone like to probably a 6, maybe a 5.5. I felt like, again, it's the same thing with you. It just felt really very repetitive. Nothing really interesting going on. Similarly to you, and there was nothing really I can say that interesting going on in the song. Next up we have is Flash It. I think the beat was one of the best beats in the album. And I think KSI's verse was really strong as well, but I think the hook with Rico Love wasn't really for me. I think some people enjoy his hook, but for me, I think it's really boring. I feel like his hook was very repetitive. The melodies were really repetitive. There wasn't really any, there wasn't really any contrast or variations of his melodies. It was just the same melody repeated over and over again with different words, obviously, but it was just repeated throughout the chorus, and I felt that it kind of ruined the song really. For the number 10 spot, I put No Pressure. I think it wasn't really, I don't think it's a bad song. I just feel like the 9 other songs are just more strong and better in my opinion than No Pressure, even though No Pressure was a very really nice vibey song. Obviously No Pressure having that similar vibe, similar feel to Houdini. Even though I think Houdini overall is a better song than No Pressure, I'm not saying that No Pressure is a bad song by any means. It's just that the 9 other songs that are still in this list are, I think, stronger and overall more complete. 9th we have is Sleeping with the Enemy with KSI featuring SX. I think this song was kind of an underrated song of the album. I think SX doing his normal stuff, sing, making great hooks in the song. I think he really killed that. He really killed it. And obviously KSI, I think this is where we see a more personal side from him, being more real, being more personal with his lyrics. However, it did come somewhat off as corny at times, but I think overall it sent a really good message, and overall I enjoyed the song a lot. Next we have is The Moment. I think this song was incredible, really. I really enjoyed that, especially as the opener for the album. I think it was a really good choice, just to start off the album. And just the energy from the get-go was just great. I like how KSI sound on this track. He sounded really great with his conviction, with his energy. I think this song is really good, and which is why I rank it on as number 8. Next we have is Really Love with KSI featuring Digital Farm Animals and the legendary singer Craig David. Now, I like the song, to be honest, a lot. And I feel like the instrumentals, the beat, and Craig David's hook on the song was really great. Very catchy, very easy to listen to. It's a summer song, really. It's a great, good feel song. KSI obviously coming with his rap. I think there's some of the lyrics in the song were sometimes cheeky, but sometimes also pretty corny and pretty bad. But overall, I really enjoyed the vibe of this song. I think Digital Farm Animals produced the track really well, and overall, I just really enjoy the vibe, and especially Craig David's hook it's just so catchy, and it's just really easy to listen to. Next up we have is Don't Play, featuring Digital Farm Animals again and Anne-Marie. I think this song, I mean, to be honest, Anne-Marie killed this song really. She was really the star of the show in this song. Not to discredit KSI did his bit. I think his rap sing flow type of thing was actually really good. It sounded really great alongside Anne-Marie, but come on, I mean, Anne-Marie literally killed that with the verse, with the hook, with the bridge, all of that. And I think, yeah, the song is a really strong track, and I really, again, it's similar. I feel like I just like Don't Play a little bit more, just a little bit more than Really Love. I feel like they're on the same level, but I just like Don't Play just a little bit more than Really Love. But they're really close in my opinion. Number 5 we have is Madness. Oh my god, when I tell you how good this song is, like, this song was just a really kind of, it's that type of song, really. It's a type of song where it gets you going, gets you hyped and everything. And KSI in this track was his rap flow, his conviction, his energy in the song was just all around great. And it made me hype, and the beat along with it goes really well with KSI's rapping, and overall the way how his vocals and the beat blend with each other just made the song really great to listen to, and made me really hype. And I think KSI really sounded great on this, really, to be honest. Next up we have is Silly. Now, if I'm being honest with you, at first, when I first listened to this track, I wasn't really a big fan of it. It wasn't because of Bugsy Malone's part, because Bugsy Malone literally killed that verse. He literally killed that verse, really. It was more so to do with KSI's part. I feel like his hook was kind of like, at first it wasn't really feeling it for me, but as soon as I listened to it more, I started to really enjoy KSI's hook and verse. Now, in the third spot we have is Gang Gang, featuring Dino and J1. Now, this song, I think as soon as Dino sang his hook, it just felt like an instant vibe for me. And even though I feel like KSI was overshadowed by the features, he did his thing, and J1, he did well on his verse as compared to how he did in Swerve. I think J1 sounded really way better on this track than he did in Swerve. And I think it's just Dino's hook really that really made this song very great to listen to, made it very vibey to listen to. And I think Dino's hook made this song as high as it is for me personally. Next up we have, at the number 2 spot, we have is No Time, featuring Lil Durk. That's right. I mean, what can I say? I'm pretty sure it's everyone's favorite song of the album. For me, it's number 2, which is still pretty high, but for a good reason. I think KSI's hook. I mean, should I talk about his high notes, the high part? I mean, that shit was just fire. I mean, it sounded great. Lil Durk did his thing. It wasn't like the greatest verse, but it wasn't bad either. But it was more to do with KSI's just hook, really. It was just absolutely great. Probably, no, not probably, definitely his best hook that KSI has ever done. And overall, the song is just, just great to listen to. And now for the number one, I mean, what else is there left but Patience, featuring Youngblood and Polo G. Now, if I'm being honest, the reason why I put this at number one is because this is the type of song I like to listen to. It's kind of got that 80s vibe, and I think Youngblood killed, his chorus was really, really great. I think he killed the chorus, and Polo G also came very, very strong with his verse, and he did really, really well, which I did not really expected that. And obviously KSI singing was really, really good on this one for both his kind of like his verse and bridge, especially with his bridge. I was really impressed with how he changed it up from his verse. Overall, the song is just like it's just a great song to like listen to in the car. It's a really great vibey song. So yeah, that's my ranking for the album. Now let's move on to the next segment, which is our favorite, the Gelly analysis. So that's it with the Gelly analysis. Now let's move on to our final conclusion / rating. So overall, I think this album, All Over the Place, was, I think personally for me, I think it was a better album than The Simulation. I think overall the album had had better tracks and sound more kind of like, how do I say this? Overall, I think if you compare all the songs with The Simulation, I think there are more songs that I liked in this album than The Simulation. I think The Simulation had some really good tracks, but there was also some tracks that are really, really, really iffy, or some songs that I really didn't like. The same can be said about All Over the Place, but I think overall the songs that were offered in All Over the Place were way better than The Simulation. And if I had to give a rating for this album, I would say a solid 6 out of 10.